Hello, everyone. Welcome. For those of you I haven't met yet, hi, I'm Isabel Porras. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the Director of Learning and Development at Out and Equal. In its broadest sense, my job has always been to make sure that our learning and development offerings live up to our mission. In the last few years, though, as the demographics, requirements, and opportunities for LGBTQ employees and leaders have begun to change, our mission has taken on a new weight and shape. That is, integrating the best, most cutting-edge thinking and leadership with the specific needs of LGBTQ people. In that way, we can truly support our community thriving and organizations in creating cultures of belonging for all. I'd like to focus on that first part, on helping our community and particularly LGBTQ leaders thrive. In creating the agenda for the executive forum or in developing our leadership webinars, we ask ourselves a few big questions. What do LGBTQ people need to thrive at work? What differentiates LGBTQ leaders from others? Is there such a thing as LGBTQ leadership? And spoiler alert, the research shows yes, there is. In 2006, Kirk Snyder published the very surprising results of a 5-year study, which found that in organizations and teams working under the direct leadership of out gay executives, the culture at the workplace is one where employees care more about their work, they feel more personally connected to the success of the organization, and they demonstrate a deeper commitment to professional excellence. And we can measure this. In fact, gay executives were found to produce 35 to 60% higher levels of engagement, satisfaction, and morale when compared to straight male bosses. 35 to 60%. To put this in context, contemporary studies of workplace behavior were reporting a very different picture for basically everybody else. About 14% of the global corporate workforce was fully engaged at work, and the primary reason that people were leaving their jobs was due to their supervisor's behavior, to their manager's behavior. Think about that for a moment, right? It wasn't money, it wasn't the workload, it wasn't the location or the commute. The decision to stay or to leave a job comes down to, am I heard and valued? Do I belong? And those satisfaction and engagement levels show that, at least for employees reporting to gay leaders, the answer appears to be a resounding yes. At this point, you're probably asking yourself, what's up with that? That's certainly the question that Kirk Snyder had as well, right? And in his research, he found that gay executives ended up displaying similar leadership traits, and that those leadership traits, what he calls G quotient leadership, in turn provides us with a 21st century advantage, particularly when it comes to addressing the needs of a workforce who, again, is reporting increasing feelings of disconnect, of isolation, of loneliness, and burnout. Does it sound familiar to you? These workforce feelings have only continued to increase, right? And let me be clear here too. Snyder is not saying that these leadership traits are innate, and he's not saying that straight people can't be good leaders, right? We all know plenty of amazing straight leaders, and we know some not so great gay ones. However, we also know that investing in supporting LGBTQ leaders and in building strong leadership pipelines has a proven measurable benefit, not just for that individual employee, but for the engagement, job satisfaction, and morale of their teams, and ultimately for the strength of the organization as a whole. So it turns out one way that we can create cultures of belonging that benefit everybody is by first having more out LGBTQ leaders, and second, by emulating their leadership style. So let's return to the first question for a moment. What do LGBTQ leaders need to thrive? You've probably noticed at this point that I've talked about LGBTQ leaders and I've also made reference to gay executives, right? And there's a reason for that. Snyder's research predominantly focused on the experiences of cisgender gay male executives. In an attempt to isolate sexuality from other marginalized identities, this decision leaves an unsurprising gap in our knowledge of the impact of LGBTQ women leaders, trans leaders, and leaders of color. The truth is, it's impossible to isolate any one of our experiences, and we need to study the strengths that LGBTQ people at the intersection of multiple identities bring to their leadership styles. As we well know, LGBTQ people are not a monolith. The truth is, while the LGBTQ community as a whole is disproportionately subject to violence and discrimination, that discrimination is in turn further compounded for the multiply marginalized within the LGBTQ community. When twice as many LGBTQ people of color report personally experiencing workplace discrimination as white LGBTQ people, we know there's still more work to be done. When 9 out of 10 trans people are leaving a job due to discrimination or harassment, we know there is more to be done. So again, what do LGBTQ leaders need to thrive? This question has plenty of answers, but in a couple of minutes, I'm just going to give you a few. We know that we need more dedicated resources and more opportunities. We also know that a focus on senior level representation is not enough. We must support mid-level and emerging leaders in the talent pipeline as well. We know that the answer to the question, what do LGBTQ leaders need to thrive, is not a one-size-fits-all approach. We know that we must continue to expand the pipeline of diverse leadership with a keen eye to the intersectional impact that diverse leaders face. Throughout the year, you'll continue to hear more from us about what we're doing to fulfill this mission. With support from partners like JP Chase and Bank of America, we are excited to launch programs focused on the needs of LGBTQ people of color, trans and non-binary people, and women. JP Chase's grant, in fact, was the largest in our organizational history to date, and is evidence of that sustained commitment to serving the needs of trans and non-binary leaders. Today, I'm very honored and thrilled to announce one of the most exciting partnerships in our history. We're absolutely ecstatic. I don't know if you can tell by my face. We're absolutely ecstatic to partner with the Korn Ferry Institute to continue helping LGBTQ leaders thrive. At its core, this partnership will serve as a critical component of our leadership programs for the LGBTQ community as a whole, and particularly for the needs of diverse LGBTQ leaders. So to share more about the amazing work they're doing to expand the leadership pipeline and to talk about their incredible Leadership U for Humanity initiative, I'd now like to introduce Jean-Marc Laouche, President of the Korn Ferry Institute and member of the Korn Ferry Global Leadership Team, and Lauren Rosen, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Consultant at Korn Ferry. Thank you, Jean-Marc and Lauren.
We are delighted to be here and to talk a little bit about Leadership U for Humanity and what this program is about. I said that I wouldn't share, but maybe I will share something. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay.
We just need to, there we go, perfect.
Very good. So it will help. I mean, you provided a very eloquent argument and case for LGBTQ leadership. And Leadership U for Humanity, as per the name, is about developing diverse leaders at scale. So giving a little bit of genesis, we had last year, when George Floyd was killed, we probably had some type of epiphany, say, okay, we need to do something about it. And we observe that there is fundamentally the violence that we see with George Floyd and many others recently with Asian Americans and Asian ladies is due in part, there are many other factors, but in part for a lack of leadership. Lack of leadership means lack of opportunities. Leaders provide opportunities. Those opportunities will mean that there will be more wealth creation, more opportunities for others, more visibility, and more visibility of talent and quality, as you just said, Isabel, will provide more respect and humanity, therefore less violence and death. So we ask ourselves, what could we do? We know that there are many programs out there, many in corporations, in communities, and Equal is one of them, in universities, in school, but we see also that it is not enough. The problem is there, has been there for many years, will continue, and therefore we need to have another type of solution. We believe that one element of solution is creating leadership at scale. Therefore, having many, many leaders, diverse, LGBTQ, Asian, Muslim, people with transgenders, etc., that provides opportunities to many more people. So we have a target of 1 million new diverse leaders around the world through this program in partnership with organizations such as Out and Equal and corporations. So we are focusing on people that are already in the workforce. There are many programs for people in colleges and universities, and this is not what we do. We try to think, what do we have to offer? And we help develop leaders and place leaders. Korn Ferry will be the largest executive search company placing leaders around the world. We are probably also one of the biggest firms doing leadership development. We partner with organizations such as the Executive Leadership Council, Women in America, and Out and Equal that we are just starting working together to bring the talents, those raw talent or underrepresented, underserved talents, to provide them with an opportunity to grow and be better leaders. We started in November, so it was a pretty quick turnaround. We already have over 100 participants in 4 different cohorts. There are some LGBTQ participants, but not many, not enough, we want more. And as we go through the programs, we already see people saying, this is changing my life. This is providing me what I needed to be a better leader, to get more visibility, get more opportunities. Some people are already changing their jobs. So the concept is giving for free to those talents the quality of programs, of development programs that we give to large companies like Google, Microsoft, and others that gets the best of what we know about how to develop leaders. Those talents get that. As a key differentiator of this program is individualized coaching. We know that coaching is typically reserved to VPs, C-suite level people, or people that are really sometimes struggling. We say, no, let's give coaching, dedicated coaching for 6 months to those talents, individualized, so that they know who they are, they understand their strengths, they understand what they have to work on, build more self-awareness, and accelerate their development and how to navigate in the corporate world. We give them knowledge of leadership. We give also something that we call the power of choice, which is how to navigate diversity, taking ownership, efficacy, being yourself as the best you can be, and operate successfully in the corporate environment. So this is what it is about. We commit, Korn Ferry and our charitable foundation, we commit some millions of dollars. The board of Korn Ferry, the C-suite, the CEO, we are all committed to it. We have great partners such as Out and Equal, bringing us those talent and as well as content. Out and Equal already explained to us how to better communicate to incorporate the LGBTQ dimension. And then we need sponsors to provide money to fund that program. It's not expensive. We can make it scalable so that we can change the world. So this is my introduction. And Lauren, do you want to tell a little bit how we do that? We are right now applying this content, exactly the same leadership content for our armed population within Korn Ferry. And Lauren is one of the leaders of this initiative.
Great, thanks so much, Jean-Marc. Yeah, so I want to expand on what Jean-Marc said about this program. And I really want to focus on that leadership journey that he showed on there. I mean, especially the power of choice, the coaching, all of that. It's really designed to help people take ownership of their careers and really put forward what we call effective effort, right? So really understand kind of where they sit within their organization, network both across organizations within their own, really to empower them in partnership, of course, with their organizations and leaders to really drive forward, right, and what they want to do and how they can strategically help the business. So obviously you've heard about the amazing impact we've had so far externally, but internally, I just want to mention, you know, we have utilized this for our junior to mid talent. In our groups, we have a variety of underrepresented talent that we have in the programs, including those from the LGBTQ plus community. And what we're seeing right now, because we're about 3/4 through, right? Our first pilot here is that there are a large portion of people who are really starting to gain confidence, right? They're starting to gain visibility. They're asking for stretch assignments so that they can grow within their role, but also so that they can grow outside of their role. We're seeing an increase in cross collaboration across business units. We're seeing people take on more informal leadership roles, and we've heard from their managers, you know, because we do check-ins with them, you know, oh, this is actually something that, you know, my direct report was really uncomfortable with, and she stepped up and she did it, right? She asked for it and she got it done. We're also seeing that people really want to contribute more strategically at the junior to mid-level for those participants who are in it. So we're seeing a little bit more innovation. We're seeing ideas come into play. And so this is really helping us to build not only a formal leadership pipeline, which is incredibly important. I mean, Isabel talked about the importance of that visibility of LGBTQ plus leaders and other underrepresented groups, because there's a lot of intersectionality there, of course. But it's also about seeing people grow and contribute in ways maybe that we don't expect them to informally, right? Because in a lot of ways, you need that informal leadership to get to that leadership level. Usually that's kind of how it works in terms of building out the pipeline. And so again, that visibility is important, those stretch assignments, and people really understanding kind of how to navigate their organizations and how to take hold of their own careers. So we are seeing that hunger and to be more a part of the business and the mission and what we do strategically. So internally, we're taking our own medicine, if you will, and we're seeing a lot of really positive results, and just very excited to be able to offer this externally, because these are all things that we have done tried and true for a number of years and for a number of clients, both large and small, and it definitely has proven effective in building out their leadership pipelines. And Jean-Marc, if I'm missing anything, feel free to jump in there.
I think it's great. I mean, one comment that I will make is we see many, and actually we collaborate with many organizations that are doing events like they bring people for 2 hours or 2 days or sometimes a little bit more to help build awareness and connect, as this event is an example of. We know that in order to help to develop leadership, it takes time. This is why we said we needed to have a program for 6 to 9 months where people would get really a focus on how can you be a better leader, so that we increase the pipeline of leadership, which is Isabel's proposition, so that at scale we can change the world. I mean, the point is that it's a systemic issue. If we don't give numbers to it, if it's one person at a time, but we need to have many people that get those opportunities to really see a significant change in the corporate world. Isabel, is there anything that you would like to add and question that you have to make?
Yes, thank you. No, I'm just taking a moment here to look through the chat and was about to chat in and say to folks, we are very, very excited for this program, of course. I know that, you know, as folks are joining in, perhaps we may have missed some of the details of the Leadership U for Humanity program. We are going to be circulating to all of you a participant guide outlining exactly what this program entails and how we can get involved. And I think you already mentioned this, but I just want to mention this one more time. This is one of the biggest deals of this for me, I would say, is that this is a partnership that will allow us to increase that LGBTQ leadership pipeline, and most importantly, at no cost to the individual participant, right? This is something that we've heard from partners again and again. We want to have more. We want to have more leadership development efforts. We want to bring more people to the forum, or want to bring more people to the summit. But we recognize that the spend right on leadership development for folks, that budget may be limited in some spaces. And so just want to say thank you, Jean-Marc and Lauren, for the development of this program and for that component of it, that material component that I think is so important, particularly for underrepresented LGBTQ leaders, who we are not often well represented at the very top of the pipelines, right? And a lot of times these focuses on executive level leadership development really leave out that nuance, and in some ways can recreate that imbalance, right? That leaves women, people of color, trans and non-binary leaders outside of what it means to be an LGBTQ leader. So I know we have a few minutes left before our next session. Jean-Marc or Lauren, is there anything else that you would like to add before we sort of start to wrap up and give folks a few minutes before their next session?
So yes, in order to get started, the concept of leadership for humanity, it has a focus on society. Therefore, it's based on our charitable foundation. And the idea is, how can we give opportunities for maybe people that are not yet fully employed in the organization, or maybe they are employed, but they are kind of hidden and not appearing. And therefore providing them with a safe environment where they can appear and then grow the confidence so that they can continue to evolve as professionals and leaders. As Lauren described, we are doing it for ourselves in our organization. And we see a number of people that we are talking to that want leadership for humanity for their own organization. Therefore, how can we just started with a big pharma company, a program with their Hispanic leaders, mid-level, how we can help them develop to become VP. Exactly the same model, the same content, very scalable, very effective, and we add element of link to the Latinos and the Hispanic population. This is something that we could do, is organizations say, I love to help outside, and let's do that. We would like to do that. But also, if we can apply that to ourselves, could we do this? And could we do that with LGBTQ focus? Therefore, we will add specific content in partnership with Out and Equal and other partners to make sure that what we provide is fit for purpose for this population and ensure impact. We are interested in having impact. We don't want to have, it's not a marketing action for us. We would love to have to really make the difference and make it happen.
I have to say, and I know we're running out of time, but I'm so excited about this, and I hope that your wheels are spinning, folks in the audience. You know, I mentioned this partnership that we're so excited about, our partnership with JP Morgan, our partnership with Bank of America. And I want to emphasize these partnerships and these conversations, this weaponizing, right, of the institutional privilege that we may have, really comes out of the conversations that folks have in programs like the Executive Forum. And so I know that it's at least on the West Coast, it's early. I know it's different for folks that are joining us globally. This is a lot of information to take in. You're probably still digesting all of these frameworks. We're going to follow up with written material, lots of details, where to apply, what the deadlines are, what are the expectations for participation for folks. But as you leave this session and as you move through the rest of Executive Forum, I want you to think about that, right? What are the needs of LGBTQ leaders? How can I individually help LGBTQ leaders thrive? And institutionally, how can we help LGBTQ leaders thrive? And perhaps there's someone sitting in the audience right now, Jean-Marc, who is thinking through what you just said now and is, you know, do the meme of all the numbers sort of floating in front of them and is thinking, what's the next impact that we need to have? How can we take this program to the next level? So again, this is only the beginning. We're very thrilled to launch that opening cohort. I believe we're shooting for a July date. So again, we'll be reaching out to folks with plenty of time to be able to make that application. And again, just want to thank you, Jean-Marc, for your leadership in this. I know this was a personal passion project for you, and we are just so excited to be along on this journey with you,
Thank you.
and to have this intersectional impact on.
No, thank you to Out and Equal, Isabel, and all your team. It's a great opportunity. I'm discovering, sincerely, I'm learning a lot through our conversations. And I think there is a lot to be done. And one thing that we observe in the participants, when they participate into those virtual sessions we call Power of Choice, and connect with people from other communities. Because it is not a corporate program, it's not HR or my manager, it's an open space. The quality and the depth of the dialogues and the support that they give to each other is absolutely amazing. Therefore, it's also, and we didn't expect that actually. We felt, okay, we have good content, we do an assessment, coaching, but the peer-to-peer support within and across communities of those underrepresented people is really one of the benefits of this program.
That's one of the aspects of it we're so excited about, to give folks this expanded access to a network of diverse leaders. So with that, I know we just have a couple of minutes. I want to give folks a chance to be able to log on to the next session, take a quick water break, whatever they may need. I also, just a quick housekeeping note, I want to recognize that we did have those technical issues in the opening of this session, but I think they're all squared away now. Unfortunately, one of the things that did happen is we were not able to have the transcript turned on, the live transcription turned on for this session. So we do apologize. We'll work to repair that and publish a different transcript, and we share the recording of this session with everyone. But again, thank you all for joining and listening in. I hope your wheels are turning as to how we can deepen our partnership with Korn Ferry and really take advantage of the Leadership U for Humanity program. And again, Lauren and Jean-Marc, thank you so much, both of you, for your leadership in this space. Really looking forward to our partnership.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Lorraine, and everyone.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
So much.